I was raised by my grandfather, and now he's not in great health. He said one of his biggest wishes is to see me get married while he's still alive. I have lots of friends in my life, so I don't usually feel lonely or bored. I actually feel quite happy and fulfilled living alone. But because of the traditional expectations, the pressure from family and society, they think I've reached the right age and to get married. Since I want to fulfill my grandfather's wish, I was looking for someone around my age with similar needs so that we can help each other. For the past 3 months, every day I would receive direct messages from men who want to be marriage buddy, and I've met some of them. When I met the 5th person, I felt I found a good match. Right now we have made some agreement. We will stay financially independent, we won't live together, and won't share daily life together like a conventional couple. And since his parents also live in another city, we will both make time to look after each other's families when needed. For me personally, I don't want to invest all my emotions just into one person. I don't think it's necessary to share every hobby or interest with a single partner. Like, I can play badminton with someone who enjoys badminton. I can go out for dinner with someone who loves food. Every hobby or interest can be shared with the right person. It doesn't have to come from just one person. To be honest, it's really hard to meet someone who matches you perfectly in terms of interests and lifestyle. People in our generation are more individualistic, so lots of us don't want to be tied down by a traditional marriage where we often see 2 people get stuck together with all those family dramas. We don't want to add unnecessary fire to our life.
So those are some of Linda's reasons for finding a marriage buddy. I want to touch on that a little bit. What sort of reasons are young people choosing to take this route?
I would say the most direct motivations for young children to find a marriage buddy is the pressure from the parents. As you can see from what Linda said, that she wanted to find a marriage buddy as soon as possible because that was the last wish of her grandfather. And it's actually, culturally speaking, it's very, very, very common for the older generation to believe that once you hit the age of 30, you are supposed to get married and you're supposed to have children and then, sort of building up your stable life. But the thing is that for the younger generation, getting married is no longer a priority for them. And that's because, especially after the post-COVID economy, that China's economy is struggling and there is this very high unemployment rate among young people, and at the same time, especially if you live in big urban cities, you have to cope with this high cost of living. So it's already stressed enough for a lot of young people to live alone, and let alone all those family commitments, responsibilities, and so so that's why a lot of Chinese young people, they don't want to get married nowadays. And then we can see their reluctance in data as well. So China is actually experiencing the lowest marriage rates in decades since 1980s. And at the same time, we are seeing also the rising divorce rate as well as the declining birth rate. And another factor, I think Chinese young people are really choosing this marriage buddy is also because that we are talking about people who were born in the 90s, which means they were born under China's one-child policy. So that means they grew up being alone and then doing whatever they want, having this free life without, sharing your life with other people. But then I will say, how do they actually cope with this stress from their parents? Like in Linda's case, I think then they come up with this marriage buddy idea that is sort of like a compromise or middle ground for them, that on the one hand they can continue with their happy single life, on the other hand they can just be a good child to their parents.